Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. This is the second time I'm recording this. I think this is the second time that I've done this, but I forgot my mic. So we're running it back. So I already know what I'm going through. We're going straight into the market watch video. This time I'm going to be talking about some slabs. We're talking more high-end stuff. And then towards the end, I'm going to talk about some playable cards that we see increase in value just because of playability of a couple leaders that we expect to see in OP14, but I'll keep that at the end. As always, I just want to start off with some sealed OP13. Always keeping a close eye and see what OP13 is doing. I think it's starting to level out or at least peak. Because I mean, if you look at this chart right here, we see the price increase obviously, but we're seeing less volume, so less sales altogether. I think last week when I did the market watch video, the cases were sitting around 4,000, I believe. Yeah, around 4,000. And then as of today, looks like there's no sales today, but yesterday it looked like a few sales around that 42, 47, 42.50. Lowest available, pretty much same price, so $42 to $4,300. So we're seeing it slow down a little bit. Probably will see it slow down until we see the next wave of OP13 being printed in a few months. With the new wave, we probably will see a little drop in price, but we're going to kind of see it skyrocket. Still probably, in my opinion, the best set Bandai has released for One Piece. So the top chase is the Luffy. That's still $8,000, $9,000. Really can't go wrong buying a $4,000 case with the potential to pull $8,000 manga. Even the other two red mangas are sitting around $3,000 to $4,000, and just the regular Luffy manga is in $2,000. So can't go wrong. So moving on, OP11. This case we're still seeing increase in value, right? So lowest listing is 3,300. In the most recent sale, looks like it's been a few days, but the most recent sale, a few of them at that $3,000 mark. So in my opinion, still see room for growth since we are seeing the gold and silver SP Luffy's and actually the manga Luffy increase in value. So I expect to also see this increase in value. EBO2, people are catching on or people have caught on how I don't want to say undervalued, but how valuable of a set this is. A specialty set that has a Gear 2 Luffy manga, all right, and then also all the leaders. So I think last time when we did this, the last two sales we saw were these two down here, so the 37.50 and the 43, and it looks like we see quite a few sales ever since then. So the most recent one being 4,450, and if you look at what's available, the lowest one I can get right now is 6,500. So no longer available at that $4,000 range. We completely skipped 5,000, and now the lowest available is 6,500. Not sure if we're gonna see a sell at this price. There are a few cases at this price, but this is basically the new price point for this set. So as this case increased, the cards will probably follow it. Or I mean, the cards have already kind of shot up a little bit, but we might see the cards shoot up a little bit more because of the price of this has shot up. But if you're looking to, collect or hold for a while, if the cases are out of the range, I still think the loose boxes are still a good hold and buy. That's it for sealed. I don't want to spend too much time. We see a lot of increase in sealed. A lot of the boxes and cases are exchanging hands at the price point they are right now. So I didn't want to reiterate and kind of repeat some of the stuff that I know other YouTubers are already covering, but just know boxes and cases are exchanging hands pretty frequently at the price point they are right now. But we're not seeing a crazy increase in prices on anything. Moving on to singles. So we're going to talk about a lot of high-end, some promo cards. Gear 2 Luffy manga. Last week when I talked about this card, the last sale was this $2,000 for near mint, and it looks like since then we see a $2,500 and a $2,750 sale, and the lowest available right now is $4,000. I do believe this manga is going to closely be in value to the Gear 5 Luffy manga from OP05. two iconic scenes, right? We got Gear 2 and then Gear 5. I believe they should be pretty close in value. So even at 4,000, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody ended up buying this at 4,000, because after that there's not even a verified listing, and even the cheapest listing is going to be 4,500. So still a pretty big jump from 4,000 to 4,500. So still a really great manga. I'm going to be talking about the slab version of this pretty soon here, but still one of the top chases. Out of the cards that people ask me most frequently, it's this card and the gold SP Luffy. I get so many DMs asking if I have it or don't even want to sell it. So a lot of folks are actively looking for this card. Cards that I saw shot up: the gold and silver SPs for both Shanks and Teach. So right out of the gate, when this set first came out, the card itself was only $1,000, which is crazy to me how cheap it was. Definitely thought it was going to be more than 1,000 when it first came out, so I was lucky enough to pick up a couple of these. But I mean, looking at the most recent sales, the most recent sale is 12/15, which is a week ago at that 1,500. And I think if we look at the lowest TCG listing, there's probably the reason why we haven't seen another sale since then is because the lowest listing is at 2,800. So I'm not sure we're going to ever see a sale at 2,800. We might see a couple more listings put on TCG at a lower price point. We might see some sales at 2,000, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a couple sales at that 2,000, but we only have 5 listings currently. So we might see a little bit more listings in the near future, but definitely was an undervalued card at $1,000. So 15 to 2,000 is a respectable price in my opinion for the card. The silver Shanks. Now this one, again, also undervalued. It was sitting around 700 for a very, very long time. And somebody brought it upon themselves in the last few days here to purchase all the ones that were sitting at that $700 price range. And now the lowest available listing is $999. So basically $1,000, which is, I believe, a fair price. Realistic price for where it should be. I think that $700 was cheaper. Now both the gold and silver Shanks, I still it's coming from OP13 for one, so luckily we'll see another wave of prints for it, so we might see it come down a little bit before it shoots back up, but I think overall we're not going to see it kind of go back down in value. So whatever price it is right now, I think if you want to collect it, you get a copy of it before it goes up anymore. Same thing with Marshall D Teach, the gold and silver one. It was very cheap for what it was, especially coming out of Legacy of the Master. Like I've always said, undervalued box. Price of the box have gone up a little bit, as well as the cards, so it's getting some love, but it's still undervalued in my opinion. This one here, so Teach, roughly last sales around the same price. More recent sales of it, so looks like the most recent sale is at 1,600, pretty much. The sales before that were sitting around that 12 to 1,300. Lowest listing is 1,700. Looks like there's a couple before it hits that 2,000. I think this is going to be kind of like where the gold and silver SP Shanks are. This is going to kind of very closely follow what the gold Shanks is going to be doing. So that 1,700 range is probably where it's going to be sitting at. As for the silver SP, we got it same thing with this, such as the silver SP. It was sitting around 600 or so, and most recent few sales up at that 770, 769, pretty much 770 range, and it looks like lowest available is 1,000. So not sure if it's the same person who did this, but between the silver and silver Shanks and silver Teach, whatever price range it was sitting at that 700, they bought all those up. So now the lowest available for both of them is $1,000. So not sure if we'll see a sale of it at 1,000. I have a feeling we probably will see around like 900, probably $1,000 eventually. But we will see. But that's pretty much what the new price point's looking like. Outside of the gold and silver SPs, we're going to be talking about some promos, mostly Luffy's. So this one is the 3rd anniversary treasure campaign pack Luffy. Personally, not one of my favorites. When it first came out, it was sitting around $900 to $1,000. I did see potential in it, but I did not see the potential that it's doing right now. So last sales, you're looking at $13.49. That's the LP one. So realistically, you're looking between 15 to 17,000, right? So the most recent one is 17,000, sorry. So 1,700. Lowest listing available is 2,000. This is pretty insane. I mean, it is Luffy. It is technically like a serialized artwork, but I was wrong about this card. I didn't talk about this card in my market watch, but I did not believe that this card would do what it's doing right now. I think the PSA 10 versions of this are hitting between $5,000 to $6,000. Personally, I think you're better off spending that money elsewhere, especially if you're looking at the PSA 10 version at $6,000. I'd rather spend that money on a Gear 2 or a Gear 5 Luffy over this. But do what you will with your money. But I don't think this is worth the money. I think this is definitely one of those I am FOMOing cards. So at least for the PSA 10 version, it is limited, right? So it's only available in the treasure campaign pack that's only printed in the first wave of OP13. So in the next upcoming wave, I don't believe we're going to see that extra pack of this, right? So I can see the value in it, but personally I don't see it holding at that 2,000, this 2,000 value. All right, now we have this celebration pack Luffy. There's two versions of this actually, that I now have both of them up here because I had a couple folks ask me what the difference between them is. So this one is the championship one that is textured. Obviously in the picture you can't tell that is textured, but the non-textured one does not have that that championship stamp, whereas the textured one does. The reason why I have both of them up is I think right now a lot of the Grails, people are looking for the Grails, the high-end limited cards. And this one, the championship one, there's not that many out there. And this one we see continuous growth. So the last sale was yesterday at $980. And the cheapest one available, there's 3 at $750. And I was able to add this to cart earlier, and now I can't add it anymore. So when I was recording this earlier, I was saying there's going to be somebody who's going to look at this and see there's 3 of them available for $750. They're going to buy it up, and now the lowest available after that's $1,250. So they're going to pump this up to the next available price. So it looks like between the last hour when I recorded to now this recording, somebody did end up buying up all the ones at $750. Either that or Plot Twist took it down and they're putting this back up at a new price, right? But that $750, if you were able to get at that price, that's a steal, considering the fact that the last sale was $980, right? So but the point is, we're seeing these high-end cards, high-end chases continuously to grow, whereas this one, the non-textured version of it, we do see growth, overall growth in general, obviously looking at the graph, but we do see a little dip as well. So it's being bought out and then they're being put back in the market, right? So I think the high sales of these we see earlier, a week and a half ago, sitting around 230, 240, right? And then we're seeing it go back down. As of right now, last few sales are 200. Lowest one I can get available is 195. So again, top end chases, cards with limited quantity, promos such as the championship celebrations pack Luffy. I mean, we see continuous growth for this one because this is what people are chasing, whereas this one, not as many people are chasing. People are buying them and purchasing, but not something that people are super, going out there to purchase. And these are going back into the market, whereas this one, people, when they buy it, I believe people are holding onto it for their own personal collection. So they're not reselling it or putting it back in the market. So we're just seeing less of it in general. Another promo, another Luffy promo. This one during front row Portland, the PSA 10 version that sold for 600. I believe right now it's doing between 11 to 1200. So we are definitely seeing a big spike in this, and it's well deserved because it is an awesome card. I mean, the raw ones in general, I believe these were sitting around $250 not too long ago. So yeah, 235 actually a week ago, 250, 270. So basically average 250. And as of today, or as of yesterday, we see sales in that 350 range. And the lowest one available I can get is 360. And then right after that, lowest TCG available is 699, so $700. So this is kind of very similar to the Serial Luffy. So we can look at this and look and see that 359. See, I did this earlier too. So this was available earlier for me to add to my card. It's no longer available to add to my card. So again, it's either somebody saw this and bought it, or No Limit Gaming took it down and probably is going to relist it at a higher price. But I'm not sure if we'll see a sale at 700. I think that 350 price was a good price for it. So we will see what it's going to be doing. But these promos that we see, very limited of the top chases, we are seeing it continuously grow. Another Luffy card. So I didn't talk about this in my last one, but I added this one. This is the second anniversary Luffy, and I'm going to be talking about the PSA 10 version of this as well in a little bit. But it looks like it just got bought out within the last few days. So right now it's sitting at 250. So these sales are, I'm not sure what's up with these sales here, but all these sales were yesterday. So it was sitting around the 220 mark, and the most recent sales are these 300. These probably were like relisted ones, but if you look at lowest TCG available, we only got 5 available, and they're all 300. There's only 1 available at 300. And again, we're looking at No Limit Gaming. Let me see what happens if I press on this. So it's not even, I can't even put it in my cart anymore. So who knows what the lowest TCG available is going to be. It could be 350, it could be 400. We will find out in a few days what this is going to be. But this card literally just got bought out. So more Luffy cards, but this card is sick. It has the whole crew on it, and it looked dope. Really like this card. Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen with this card going forward. I can just see it continuously getting pumped. So we will see there. And I think the last kind of Luffy promo I want to talk about is this foil convention promo card. There's 2 versions. There's a non-foil version and the foil version. Both of them have come up in value. The non-foil version, I think right now, is sitting between 20 to 30 bucks, whereas this one, I believe, is sitting at $400 now. It was sitting around 250 to 300. Yeah, so it's always been sitting around that 200, 250 range, but recently we're seeing sales, towards the beginning of December, or not beginning of December, but December 8th, December 9th, in that 300. And then we get into 375, some more 300s. So it's in between 300 to 350 a while. But I think as of recent, in the last few days, we see more of these $400 sales. We see some of them at 354, but when we look at lowest verified, we're looking at the cheapest one I can get is 400, basically 400 bucks. Okay, so more Luffy's, more promos. More limited cards that people are chasing. This is a really cool Luffy, one of my favorite ones actually. So we just see a lot of exchange of hands of this card, and continuing increase in price. Outside of Luffy cards, so the 3 cards I want to talk about are the Bandai Card Fest cards. Sorry. Zeus, this card, man, I think it was 60 bucks. With the mat, it was like $120 together. So who knows what the mat and the card together is now. But the card itself, recent sales, 115 bucks. Lowest available, also 115 bucks. So great card. That looks, when this first came out, doesn't look anything like Nami, but it is technically still a Nami card. The mat itself, I use the mat, and the mat is phenomenal. The card itself, the picture they use in this is like really weird, but It's a lot brighter than what this picture is showing, and it is a really great card. I do see this one, probably because it says Zeus, we don't see it going up like crazy, but I think it's gonna really stick around this $100 to $120 range. Again, not something you can pull out of a pack, right? So this is their Bandai Card Game Fest promo, so not a whole lot out there. Same deal with this God Usopp card. Best Usopp card, hands down. I am super happy that I got a copy of this card before the spike. But as you can see here, somebody looked at this card. It's like $65 for an Usopp card. There's no way. So somebody decided, I'm going to buy all of them. So now it's a $100 card. So the lowest TCG available is $106. It's pretty much where the last sale is. $106, $110. It does look like it was $120 for a while, but a few more got put on the market. So $110 is where it's sitting at right now, and I think where it's going to be sitting at moving forward. Again, another one of those promo cards that came with the mat were just not something cool at pack. We're not going to see a whole lot of, and the artwork is just insane. Card recently just got dropped, and I think right out the gate it's going to be expensive, is this Nami leader card. I'm going to need a copy of this for myself for when I play, because I play this deck. This is a really awesome artwork. Really good deck too, and when EVO 3 comes out, but a beautiful artwork as well. If I had to guess how much this card is going to be, I think I've seen some folks did sell this, the mat and the card together for like $600 is what I think I saw it in a couple of the groups that I'm in. So the card itself, I'm not sure how much it's going to be, but I believe it's going to be around like $200. As a collector, I think you have some time to wait, especially because Blue Yellow Namis is a good card, playability wise, into the next meta. So it's not like S tier, but it's definitely like A tier, definitely competitive. But once it becomes less competitive or rotates out, we might see this card drop in value. If it does, it's not going to be by a lot, just because it's a very collectible a collectible card as well. So you may want, as you see it, you might just want to end up picking it up, to be honest with you. All right, before I go into like slabs, I wanted to talk. So this is for my players out there. So with the announcement of like some of the cards in the EBO4 cards in OP14, we see spikes of certain cards go up just because potential leaders that might do well, such as Carrot, like I mentioned in my last video. We see buyout of some of their playable cards. So again, this is more for my players out there, what to kind of pick up or maybe look at. But Carrot, I mean SP, this is also a collectible as well if you love Carrot. But this card, I mean, by no means was cheap. At its most expensive was $140, but it went back down to like 120, and then now we're going back to like 143. So only 4 listings. So I mean, it just recently, whatever was available just got bought out, right? At the 120 sum. Can I add this to my cart? So I can't even add this to my cart. So lowest available is that 100. Can I add this to my cart? I can't. So 156, lowest TCG available. Last sale is 143. So that's going to be kind of roughly where it's at. It's all speculation. We think Carrot's going to be good. I think Carrot's going to be pretty awesome. So people are just prepping and, you know, buying these out. Obviously, there are lower rarity versions of this card you can use, but my One Piece players out there love to degen and, you know, play max rarity. I can't. I rifle shuffle too much, so I can't. So, but this is still a beautiful card. If you are collecting and you want to collect this Carrot, I would say don't FOMO. Wait. If Carrot does not end up doing well, this is going to go back into, a lot of these copies are going to go back into the market and you'll be able to purchase it. Even if it does do well, you can still wait, because once Carrot's not good anymore, then, you know, the price of this will naturally go down. My blue purple Sanji players, Boof Burst. this card is a collectible card as well. I mean, it's always been sitting around ever since the One Piece hype. It's been sitting around that $65-$70 range, and I think that's where it is right now. Somebody got a steal at $40, but it's sitting around $67 was the last sale, so $65 to $70. We see a couple sales at the 80 range, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that. Yeah, right now I can get one for $66.99. So again, that 65 to 70 range. We see a few buyouts of them, but that's kind of where it's going to be at. Staple in the blue purple Sanji. For you collectors out there, and it doesn't matter. I'd pick it up, right? I don't think it's going to go down. Sanji. So the Sanji leader and the Sanji kind of boss monster for the deck. Both of these cards are relatively cheap, right? So I mean, the Sanji leader itself, this was a $20 card. Right now it's a $32 card, $33 card, so not crazy expensive, but we do see that spike because of we do expect this deck to do a lot better in the next meta. It's going to be a menace, to be honest with you. So this one and this one again, $5 card before. Now we're looking more closely like a $15-$20 card. Yeah, $22 card of me and lowest TCG verified. We see these sales at 9:30, but really we're looking at when we go by when we talk between players, we look at lowest TCG verified. 2250 is what we have to purchase this at, so that's where it's at right now. Sanji is still a collectible. I mean, some people love Sanji. So this still, artwork wise, still an amazing card. Great playable card, but I mean, not insanely expensive. So if you do want to wait for it to drop down, you can. If not, you can always pick it up. But if you're playing it, I mean, $20 for the alt art Sanji ain't too bad. Kaido. Okay, so my players and my collectors out there, this one is a good buy now. Lowest available is $100. It looks like the last few sales for $80-$90. Before that, it was a $40 card. So Kaido, there's some new Kaido cards that potentially boost this deck. I mean, this is the super pre-release Kaido at $80. I think you get this now before it becomes a $200 card. So not much to say there, but besides that, Kaido. So OPO1 Romance Dawn Kaido 10 cost. Kaido, we do see another buyout of this one too. So again, just like the super pre-release, this was sitting around that $40-some, and now we're looking closer to $80. Lowest TCG available, $85. Because it's coming from Romance Dawn, if it does drop, it won't be dropping by much. A lot of folks are hunting for old cards from older sets, right? So stuff from Romance Dawn, Paramount War, things like that. If this does end up dropping, or the deck itself does not end up doing well, I do see this dropping a little bit, but not a whole ton. Only 17 listings out, right? So not little, but also not a lot. So give it some time. Once we see what Kaido does, we may see the value of this card come down a little bit. Last card I wanted to cover, Gear 5 Luffy, Peanut Butter Luffy, BB Luffy. I thought this card would come down a little bit, but it did, but it shot right back up. So last few sales, there's this $150 sale, but looks like for the most part it's sitting between $100 and $115. Lowest one I can get, maybe not. Lowest one I can get is $167. Insane. Truly insane. For my collectors out there, I don't think this is a good buy right now. I would give it some time, have some more enter the market. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I just don't think a leader that's not meta defining should be over $150 in my opinion. I know it is Gear 5 Luffy, and this is like the iconic kind of face of Gear 5 Luffy, but I don't think this price is going to stick. So if you can wait on collecting this card. All right, guys. So playable. I mean, not a whole lot of playable cards, but those are just a few things that I wanted to cover. Now I do also wanted to cover some of the slabs. So the Grails, basically a lot of the high-end cards, we're seeing continuous growth, right? So a lot of the singles, a lot of the raw cards, especially mid-end SPs, we're starting to see a lot of those cards kind of stabilize. I mean, it might fluctuate $10-20 here or there a little bit, right? But we're starting to kind of see where the market is settling at. We're getting past that FOMO stage where people are buying out stuff and kind of normalizing what the price standards are. But for the Grails, like the Oda Sigs and the mangas and the high-end stuff, and then going into the slabs, we're seeing continuous increase in that. So this sale right here happened today, December 23rd, 10,500 for Oda Sig. During the hype, I mean, there was a sale at this price, but then it went down to like 7 to 8 grand, and we're seeing it go back up to that 10 grand. And I think this is kind of where it's going to be sticking at, and probably increase a little bit more over time. So we're just seeing these Grails kind of continuously to grow. Gear 2 Luffy. So back to my boy Gear 2 Luffy. We saw the raw mangas go up, and in my last video I mentioned the PSA 10 versions. Every time I look at this card, it just continuously goes up from I think 35, 37, 45 to 5,000 to above 5,000 now. And again, I think this card is going to closely follow what the Gear 5 Luffy is going to do. So I don't think it's going to settle at this 5-1 price. I think it's going to keep going up. All right. To my boy Chopper. So Chopper is getting more love now. So this is the PRB version. So I have two PRB versions up here. So one off of Probstein that just ended yesterday, and then this one here also ended yesterday. So the average pretty much for our PRB version of Chopper is $3,000. I think the EBO1 version of Chopper was $3,000 to 3 weeks ago, right? So we're seeing as the OG mangas are going up, we see PRB mangas going up too, because these two are PRB, but then the actual OG version of Chopper ended, this is December 12th, but for $4,000. So since the PRB versions are at the $3,000 range, I'm sure the next time this sells, it's going to go above this 4,000. That's just my guess, but I do believe that it's going to go well above 4,000 for the next few sales for the OG Chopper. All right, Gold SP Luffy. So the two cards that people always ask me about is this one and Gear 2 Luffy. People are actively looking for it, and if they can't find it locally or out in the wild, they're gonna go to eBay and purchase it on eBay, which is what we're seeing right here. So I think the Gear 5, going back, Gear 5 Luffy, 72 bits. So people really want this one. So people are bidding up this one for sure. This one, we only see 14 bits, but we see it ended at pretty much $7,800, $8,000. And I think this one's probably going to keep going up, in my opinion. People are chasing this one. This is the big chase. So high sales of this Gold SP Luffy. Back to the foil Don, or not, sorry, I say foil Don, sorry. Foil Luffy, high sales, sitting between 13 to 15. So I chose this one because it ended today, but 1343 is where it's sitting at. These are pretty much high sales of this card, and I still see this one continue to grow. Boa and Nami manga have reached new heights. So Boa manga, I think not even a week ago, I sold this at 2,300. And now we see sales at 28 to 3,000. So I mean I knew 2,300 was kind of undervalued in my opinion, but 3,000, and I still see it continues. Both Boa and Nami probably still have more room to grow. I can see it hitting 32, even 3,500 in the next few weeks, right? So new high sales for both mangas, and probably not the highest it will go. So it still has more room to grow, both Nami and Boa. And now to my boy Shanks, OPO1 Shanks. So outside of Luffy, this has to be the most expensive manga out there right now. Makes sense. It's OPO1 Romance Non. People go back to the oldest set and kind of pick those cards up first. So I looked at 130 point, and the accepted sale of this was 6,100. And also, oh, did I skip it? Oh, I had two on, yeah, so there's two sales of Shanks here. So 6,100, this one was December 11th, so that was a while ago, but this one was more recent. But both of them were at that 6,100, so that's what we're looking at when we are talking about the OPO1 Shanks. Not sure if we're going to see this go up any higher than that, but it is all-time high sales of this manga. Outside of the manga, this one I was very surprised at. We talked about the raw earlier, sitting around that 300, 350 range. Well, the PSA 10 version just did 1313. So that's a 4x. So it's either the raw version is probably going to go up in value to that maybe 4, 5, even 600 value, or this comes back down a little bit. But this is pretty insane. New high sales of this at 1313. Insane. Besides the mangas, I'm going to talk about some of the SPs. Again, more new high sales. This card not too long ago, went from 400 to 900, a couple of thousand sales, but then it just went straight through the roof. And this sale yesterday at 1530. So out of all the SPs, this has to be one of the top chase SPs. This one and the Onami from 09 are probably the two top chases when we're talking about SPs. Again, the SP raws are starting to settle in price, but the slab version, PSA 10s, BJS 10s versions, black labels, we're still seeing sales of it. In each sale that I see, we're seeing an increase in value. So 1530 recent sale of this one. Who knows what we're going to see next? But I think this is a very appropriate price for this SP. Another one, Wanted Luffy. If you guys watch my buyer POV video a few months ago, I traded this out for 300. Now, fast forward today, this has sold for 1430. 300 was super undervalued at that time. 1430, I think, is a pretty appropriate price for this. Raw version, I think at the highest was 620. And I think right now they're sitting around 500. Again, they are settling around that price, but we are seeing high sales of the slab version. And then last here we have the OG Wanted Luffy from OPO3. High sales of this at 910. I think this one is still undervalued in my opinion. I didn't see any sales over 1,000, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next few weeks we see a sale of this card over 1,000. But 910 is a new high sale for this card. Oh, and then I just added this one Nami, Chinese New Year Nami. I think this one was sitting around like 900 for the longest time. And now we see sales. I saw a few sales between 15 and 16. This is the most recent sale ending at 1625. This one ended yesterday. So we're seeing new high sales of the Chinese anniversary Nami. So even non-English, some of the promos and some of these specialty regional sets are going up in price too. But yep, that's all I wanted to cover today. I mean, to wrap things up and let you know what my thoughts are with the market currently, especially to wrap up the end of the year. It's been a crazy year for One Piece, especially in the last few months. I am still very bullish on what One Piece is going to be doing. Coming into the new year, we have OP14 and EBO3. I do think things are going to kind of reel back a little bit and come back to reality, because if people believe that OP14 and EBO3 are going to be anything like OP13, they're going to be wrong. Both of them are, very great sets. They're awesome sets, but they are more player sets than collector sets. You're not going to see 8,000 manga, multiple $1,000 chases in the next few sets. We're probably not going to see anything like that until the end of next year when the next anniversary set comes out. So I think it will slow down a little bit compared to what OP13 did, right? But the market itself is still, I'm still very bullish. It's still gonna keep. It's still going to be a very healthy market, and still going to grow overall. But the folks who were FOMOing over OP13, they try to get into OP14, EBO3, and hold those, they're going to realize it's not the same, the same return as OP13, and that might, some folks might not see what they saw in OP13 and kind of not leave, but slow down, right? But yeah, that's just what I believe. I could be wrong. This is all kind of my personal opinion, what I believe. OP14, EBO3 still great sets, but not anything compared to OP13. So we're gonna see a little bit of slowdown, but overall growth. All right, guys. Hopefully, you found today's video useful. Again, it's just a lot of me kind of rambling on the things that I found. If you do enjoy the video, again, as always, I appreciate you guys all for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys all into the new year. Take it easy. Bye bye.